welcome to, I guess this is episode 3 of Hikes with Nick. Today we are on the Penosha Trail. It is about the end of January, so thankfully we finally have snow. As I mentioned last episode, do whatever you can to fight climate change. This world's going to look radically different in 100 years. Trust me. Like, if you just want to look at like the social effects of climate change, it's really going to be a different place. Like, coastal region's going to flood. That's going to displace a bunch of people. But beyond that, regions that already have droughts, those droughts are going to intensify. Regions that are already hot, same thing, going to get hotter. That's going to displace even more people. So, if the place you live in is not overpopulated already, it will be in the next century. Yeah, so this, the trail, talk about something brighter for a little minute at least, is in Brighton State Recreation Area in Michigan. The city is also Brighton, and it's right around 5 miles. It's a big loop. There are a couple of different options when doing this trail. You could either do the Cochin Trail, which is between 2 and 3 miles, and kind of forms a smaller loop, but they both start from the same trailhead, essentially. Or you could do the Penosha Trail, which is the bigger 5 or so mile loop. And it's the Penosha and the Cochin Trails are both hiking trails. There's also multiple mountain biking trails in the area. Actually, that gorge looking thing I passed was the Torn Shirt Trail. So yeah, this is actually one of my favorite recreation areas close to home. Really, as I've mentioned many times before, geologically speaking, in Michigan, in southeastern Michigan, we don't have too many things that are interesting. Really, forests and bodies of water. When you get up to like Sleeping Bear Dunes, where I was in the first episode, which that's kind of like the if you're looking at our Michigan hand, and for those of you who aren't from Michigan or don't know about this, our state looks like a hand. So we pretty much like point to where you live. It's ho ho ho. So Sleeping Bear Dunes is right around up here. Here, we get these trekking poles out of the way. Right around up here. Just like this left side of my pinky at the top, versus like where we are right now, which would be right around here. So this whole part of the state, not really interesting geologically. Grand Ledge does fall in that area, and those are sandstone ledges that over the course of millions of years have been eroded by the Grand River. But yeah, other than that, we have no kind of technical climbing in the lower peninsula. Hi. Getting quite a bit of snow currently. We were supposed to get 3 to 6 more inches today. I was going to snowshoe this trail, but as you can see, there's not enough snow for that yet. So hopefully the next time I'm here, there is. Yeah, one thing I will say about the lower peninsula of Michigan, because my true passion here is mountaineering, which I don't know if you can tell from the camera, but I am wearing mountaineering boots. Probably going to do some practice with self-arrest once I find a steep enough hill in a little bit, and probably practice some step kicking. It's really hard to train for mountaineering when you don't live near mountains, but if you get creative, it's definitely possible. And I've said this before, but you find a steep enough hill covered in snow and you can practice self-arrest pretty much anywhere. That's a pretty essential skill. Just gorgeous. Yeah, but one thing we can claim in Michigan is forests. That is for sure. Those long periods of silence. Honestly, I'll probably cut this one off in another minute or so. Just because I feel like if I make these 20-30 minutes long, they're probably going to bore people to death. So I'll kind of do, just like I did with the first one, I think, probably parts. Maybe a full video to come on YouTube eventually. I mean, from a monetization perspective, YouTube is definitely seeming more appealing right now, just based on the way Facebook's traffic has gone. Worst case scenario, you know, if I did kind of transition out of Facebook, I would still post my prints there. But yeah, it's just really like the goal is to be able to do this for a living. Right now I do it pretty much every chance I get, but you can imagine with a family that is not super duper often. But yeah, with the goal being to eventually transition into doing this for a living, I do need to kind of look into like what I can do to make money by doing this, and part of that is diversifying in social media and looking at which platforms are actually willing to pay you. And I gotta tell you, Facebook has, you know, we had steady progress for a few months, and now it just kind of seems like we've lost it all. So it's definitely a bummer. Thank you for watching this too. Every watch, view, for reels, that is, like, really, even if you're not buying prints, like, just reacting to stuff does help in the long run. So thank you guys for that. And here's that other trail I mentioned. Speaking of, and look, we got a little snowman. But here we've got, so the Cochin Trail would be this way. Then we're going to continue on the Penosha Trail. Honestly, I'm probably going to go up over to this hill because this looks steep enough to practice some self-arrest. So, all right. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Hikes with Nick. There may be more parts to this, as I mentioned. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Take it easy. Enjoy the nature.